Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? Me today? Well, you find me well rested and rearing to go. Had a decent night's sleep at long last night. So, given that it's a packed show, without further ado, let me roll the intro and get this show on the road. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. It is Tuesday, the 4th of October, and I've got the wrong screen on. That's much better. As that remarkably persistent guy just said, welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, Kobelco has suspended European excavator sales amidst an engine emissions scandal, and we'll be doing a lot more on that, I think. We're experiencing a Rocky Mountain high. Thank you to John Denver for the title there. Countering the embodied carbon argument with community benefits. Operators could compete against themselves for improved productivity and reduced fuel consumption, and we'll get to all of that in just a second. Plus, we're going to be revisiting Red Car for a truly epic film at the end of the show. But first, let's see who among the rich and the shameless will be celebrating a birthday on this day of days. Happy birthday! And it's many happy returns to journalist and writer Damon Runyon and to silent movie star Buster Keaton. Happy birthday also to Ben-Hur actor and general gun enthusiast Charlton Heston, to cricketer Basil D'Oliveira, designer Terence Conran, the man behind Habitat, and to Interview with a Vampire author Anne Rice, to actress Susan Sarandon, to the quiet half of the Pet Shop Boys, that's Chris Lowe, to the ever-gorgeous Alicia Silverstone, and to the equally gorgeous Dakota Johnson. Many happy returns to them, one and all. Construction Inquirer has reported this morning, Construction Inquirer has reported this morning that Kobelco has suspended sales of some of its excavators and crawler cranes following an ongoing scandal at its engine supplier. Kobelco said the move followed concerns about possible misconduct in the engine certification process for compliance with European emissions regulations. Buttons aren't working properly this morning. I do apologise. The temporary suspension will remain in place until Hino, the engine supplier, confirms the European Certification Authority's decision. And there's a bit more to this. Kobelco said Hino has committed to working with the European certification authorities to establish the current position on compliance following an internal investigation which revealed that part of the misconduct found in the engine certification process in Japan may also have been made in the process of obtaining Stage 5 European certification. I have a real problem with the word certification, as you probably noticed. It added that while the manufacturer is communicating closely with Hino throughout this period, their primary focus remains on supporting European distributor and dealer networks in the best way possible. Kobelco machines are already working on site, including those equipped with the affected Hino engines, and they are permitted to continue operating at this time. The company says there are no issues with safety, quality, and performance of these models, and the fuel performance is unaffected by this incident. Now, you can find a full list of the machines implicated using the link that I've just posted in the chat, but I can tell you that this list includes the SK1300 DLC, the giant demolition machine, which is scheduled to be one of the biggest stars of Bauma 2022. Just so you know also, this story has been a key topic of conversation over on our exclusive Breakfast Show WhatsApp group this morning. If you'd like to join that group, you can certainly do that. I'll post a link to that in the chat right about now. In the meantime, let me get on with, let me get on with this one. Okay, folks, strap in as we're about to head to Colorado in the good old US of A. And we're doing so in the company of the appropriately named Rocky Mountain Civil Excavating.
Right now we have a really great crew that we're all working really well together, and we've been pretty lucky to find a good group of guys like we have right now. Making sure we're delivering a quality product in a reasonable amount of time. We like the 331G. It can get a lot done. It's still easy enough to pull behind a pickup truck to get from job site to job site. And the size of it is still small enough to be nimble around fine grading operations. I like the visibility and the balance of the machine more than anything. They always have good power and they're pretty fuel efficient, very reliable machines. Everything on them is really easy to get to work on for the mechanics. Getting parts has always been really easy as well. Anything that we've needed from Four Rivers, they've been there right away. We really like the technology that's been included into the machines now, and it helps to make us more versatile in the jobs that we can take on and using less equipment for larger jobs. We spend a lot of money upfitting the machines to have the appropriate technology. It's a lot more efficient, a lot easier to make sure you catch grade the first time. We're definitely very excited and very happy with the three-dimensional LPS system that we have on the John Deere 331G. We're looking forward to also putting a smart grade system into our fleet as well to help boost our productivity and give us a better range of projects that we can handle. John Deere's always been really good about helping provide us with the latest technology and giving us what we need in order to be productive in this industry.
Yeah, John Deere has been really active in the video department recently. I just wish their equipment was equally active here in the UK market. In recent months, I've spent an inordinate amount of time on this show discussing the subject of embodied carbon. There are some that believe that we should call a halt on almost all demolition to safeguard the carbon embodied within the UK building stock, that we should refurbish instead. I've laboured the point about the level of recycling that goes on in demolition circles, how more than 95% of all demolition arisings goes back into the construction supply chain for new build projects. But here's another take. Demolition can also be the first step to the rebuilding of an entire community.
This marks the beginning of the end to a decades-long nightmare. Crews just tore down the first portion of the old Packard plant in Detroit.
But a lot of people are going like this. What was once an automotive trailblazer is now a community eyesore. The long-abandoned building has become a magnet for crime, drugs, and adventure seekers. Now it is finally on its way out. 7 Action News reporter Whitney Burney is near the plant with the new vision for this historic piece of property.
The Packard plant has sat here idle for more than 6 decades. The people who live around the plant are hoping that its demolition is the beginning of a new day. For Tara Moxley, it's a day that's long overdue.
It feels like victory. It feels like something that we've been fighting for a long time, and we've been insisting to happen for a long time.
Since she moved in back in the 70s, the Packard plant has been the view, a safety concern, and what she calls a representation of neglect.
It's like they've forgotten about this area.
Today's $1.7 million demo only addresses 2 blocks of the 3.5 million square foot plant that at one point was a thriving part of the city. Over the course of several years, it's seen fires, a bridge collapse, and even been a part of murder investigations.
Every building that we can save, we're going to save. But those that can't be saved, we're going to protect the community and the surrounding neighbors by getting them down.
In a press conference ahead of the demo, the city now declaring the plant's destruction just one part of the revitalization of Detroit. And while the demo represents a new day, some Detroiters are cherishing the history it leaves behind.
That's the inside wall brick and this the outside wall brick right here.
These bricks soon to be added to native East Sider Arthur's historic collection of other buildings that have come and gone.
Old Tiger Stadium, Joe Louis Arena, the Hudson Building. It's sad to see stuff like this go.
The city estimates the first part of this demolition will be done by December, but taking down the entire plant will take about 2 years. As for the future of the plant, the mayor is hoping it has something to do with electric vehicle manufacturing. Reporting from the city's east side, I'm Whitney Burney, 7 Action News.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of neighbors, though, are happy it's gone, but
It's a big eyesore.
certainly.
That Packard plant unquestionably contains a whole heap of embodied carbon, but its removal could help rebuild an entire community. When you weigh them up, I know which one I'd prefer.
The Miller GT series heralds a new era of unrivaled power and cutting-edge intelligent coupler technology, increasing job site safety, machine versatility, and productivity. It's the added versatility that you need at the value you can afford. To find out more, visit millergroundbreaking.com.
We're back on the road to Balmer again, people, and once again our journey is making a stop at the exit marked Attachments. ProMove are on my worryingly long list of attachment must-sees. I'll report back on them and a whole lot more after Balmer 2022.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
Many moons ago, back when I was still cutting my live streaming teeth, I interviewed a representative from Volvo, and we talked about the gamification of construction equipment. To cut a long story short, there was a suggestion that machines and their operators could be monitored to see who was the most productive, who took the best care of their machine, and who used the least fuel. At the time, I thought I was being terribly smart when I suggested an intercompany league, or a league table that rewarded the better operators. Lots of people then rightly pointed out that this might encourage operators to drive their machines hard, maybe too hard, to cut corners and to possibly take unnecessary risks. But what if, rather than competing with others, the gamification allowed you to continually monitor your own performance and compete against that? Now, personally, I'd like something like that in my car, allow me to constantly monitor things like real-time fuel consumption based on my driving, speed and acceleration, all that kind of thing. But I'd love to get your thoughts. Would you like that? Or is this a bit too much Big Brother for your liking? That pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning's show. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like over into the chat to see what you're all saying. If you can't stick around for that, then please stay safe, look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. But if you do have both the time and the inclination, I'll see you on the other side of this when I've got a funny feeling all things Kobelco may be on the table for discussion.